Hey everybody. Okay, how many of you sometimes have weird questions that you just want to Google? I Googled today because I wanted to know how many thoughts does the average person have per day? Guess what I learned? On average, most of us are walking around thinking between 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. Yeah, that really blew my mind. And it comes out to something like 3,000 thoughts an hour, about a thought per second, about 35 to 48 thoughts per minute. Now, don't ask me how someone figured it out. It's just what some neuroscientists posted on the web, and there is some room for discussion on that. But what I think is so fascinating is that it's also been documented that 98% of what we think about are exactly the same thoughts that we've already thought about before. Yesterday, the day before, 98% of our thinking is repetitive. And it's usually fragments of things that aren't very useful. A conversation from the other day. It could be a phrase that we're kicking around, what someone said, what we're going to have for dinner, what's going to happen tomorrow. That this machinery, left to its own devices, can be kind of messy. And it's no wonder that people are struggling with how to feel present with all this. It's also why in this crazy life, we need to find a way to slow this machinery down so that you can be more in the present of your own life. If 98% of your thoughts aren't very useful, and they're things that you've already thought about before, and they're things that don't actually feel good, like something that happened in the past, where you're reliving the same conversation over and over again. He said this, and I said this, and why didn't I say that? And how many of you can relate? Some people replay conversations in their heads over and over because I guess secretly we kind of hope we could create a different result, right? We know we can't, but that's what the brain tries to do. Or it goes off into the future to think about every possible thing that could happen. That's cluttering up your 50 to 70 grand thoughts per day of every possible thing that could happen. You're thinking about it. If she says this, I'll do this. If this happens, I'll do that. It's tremendously exhausting on the mind, and it keeps us from being fully present in the moment. This is one reason why our rates of anxiety are so high. This has run out of control. And so have a think about what is the quality of your thinking. One thing I've been doing is just jotting down throughout the day what seems to be running through my head at any given moment. Now, the neuroscientists have also determined that when we're at rest, not particularly focused on anything specific, like, a report you're doing or an email you're trying to get out or doing some specific task, guess what? Your rate of default thinking actually goes up. That really surprised me. If anything, I thought it would go down. It just means we're not aware of this whir of stuff going in your head. So what I've been doing, and I've been encouraging my clients to do, is just take an audit, just like people do food diaries. Just jot down what you happen to be thinking about at periodic times throughout the day when you're not focused on anything specific. Does it seem to be things that are about the past, or what you're worried about in the future, or you're worried about what someone thinks of you, or you're comparing yourself? These are part of the 70,000 thoughts that we get a day. And the way to get a grip on this so that your thoughts are more useful, so that, first of all, you get fewer of them, the less thinking, the more sensual your life can be in feeling, in seeing, in taste, in color, the feeling, the silence or the sounds of the present moment. That's where your life really is. And most of us, me included, have missed out on so much of our lives because fully present, and I'm not here, I'm already thinking about the move of my office next week and the paint colors that we're picking, and oh my gosh, is the move going to go well? Or I'm worried about how I'm going to tell my clients so that nobody gets confused. See, I'm already gone. I'm not even here with you in the present moment. The present moment is slowing down the thoughts. How do you do that? Meditation. Meditation. Be aware, first of all, of how this thing is running. 98% of your thoughts are things you've thought about before. They're not productive. They're not useful. They're creative. They're just remnants of things that you're mulling through. And just notice. It's not bad, but notice how this is impacting the quality of your life, your ability to stay present. My goodness, if you could just slow down the rate of thinking, can you imagine what would be possible if you drove down 70,000 thoughts a day to even just half of that? How much more space you could have between each thought, right? It's not like we're lobotomizing you. It's just you have more time to really sit in between the thoughts, perhaps more room for creativity. Instead of your mind like acting like a butterfly, flitting from one thing to another and going nowhere. So the first thing is just notice that this machinery is a little bit out of control, a little overheated. Just notice. You don't even have to do anything yet. And if you're wanting to slow it down for some productivity, to get some focus, especially in a lifestyle that's on hyperdrive with social media and Facebook scrolling, where you don't even spend half a second on a post. Can you imagine what that's happening to your mind? No wonder people are struggling with concentration. ADD rates are going up. We're constantly fried because we've lost the ability to focus on anything. So meditation, just be aware of your thinking first. Notice that most of the time you're not fully present because you're thinking about something that hasn't happened, won't happen, or happened in the past, or worried about what someone thinks of you, and all these things that are taking you out of your own joy factor. Come back to the present moment. There's plenty of space in the present moment for your whole life to fit. And I don't want you guys to miss out on your own life because you're thinking so hard. Okay? So that's my factoid for today. Share this with your friends. If you find this useful, post a comment below. What is your thought diary revealing about the kinds of thoughts that are crossing your cranium? It's actually pretty interesting when you do an audit. Trust me, I enjoyed it. Okay? Till next time, rock it out. Thanks. Bye.